Well, good afternoon, everybody. Time for another lesson. We're on 56 this week. Give you a little high. I'm sure you recognize that guy. Anyway, about time. I guess you would after 55 of these, huh? Anyway, so we're going to stay on C minor because we need to make sure that we're keeping up with our writing skills, whatever of those we have. So if you were to take, for instance, a section of the lesson from last week where you liked where I was playing a small section, take that section and simply, it's a recording, so take that that section within there where I was doing chords. Let's see. To start with just something very simple along those lines. In other words, when you sit down, you start to play something really slow. Record that. Maybe you need to take your cell phone and put it to an angle that you can really get everything that you're doing. But I want you to take what I played in a couple of spurts last week. I played some chords in there that I didn't even know what they were, but to write those down and be able to write them on a score. And remember, we're doing the rhythm. In other words, slow it down to where you're not playing too many notes up here and you're keeping a tempo here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and, because the faster you're counting that way, the more notes you're going to get in between. In other words, if you're having hard time trying to figure out how to get this written up there the way you're playing, just start a rhythm down here. it slowly. You might find that just doing a rhythm first. You see what I did there? I got my rhythm going first. So just get your rhythm going first. Now you're going to want to start writing that stuff down. So start off with making sure you've got a recording. In other words, practice a little bit with the recording that I did last week in that lesson. And just simply start off this way. Okay? And so you're going, okay, you got 4 beats there. So put in 4 beats, wherever they're going to be. Maybe they're going to be a C, they're going to be an E, and then they're going to be a G, and then they're going to go back to the E, or something like that. So in other words, you've got those 3 points there. Okay, and then what are you going to have up here? Maybe you're going to have this. So what are you going to write up on top there? You're going to write this. See? And you're going to put them down there. So you've got a C minor chord up on top. Then you've got the starting with a C, C, E, flat, G, E. That would be 2 bars, okay? So let's go for 3 bars. You got 3 bars. Do you follow what I mean? Because you're counting off 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In other words, you've got to start somewhere so you don't get lost. So start with the 4 beats. And if you have to, write those down. C, E, G, E. But write them as bass notes down here. In other words, you're going to write them down here. So you'd have your C. You would go to this, it'd be a bass clef. And so your C would be here. And your E would be here. And your G would be G would be where? Right here. Oops, I got them wrong. Doot, doot, doot. Your G would be here, and then back down to E. Okay? So you got your rhythm, but get rid of this one. In other words, you've got 4. Whoop, whoop. So those would be your bass. So in other words, you've got to start somewhere. So get your rhythm down in your bass line. Or if you want to be simple, well, let's do it real simple here. Okay? So let's say we're going a little further here, and we've got C, E, G, and E again. Okay? And down here, okay, and this is C minor. Okay? So look how simple that is now. That's what I call simple. So we got a rhythm. Now we're down to another measure again. So now we can go to the next chord, like F minor or G diminished. Let's go to F minor. So I went C minor, F minor, and then back to C minor again, see? So that's how you do it. Now as you get more progressed in that and you got more in there, see, this wasn't uniform anymore. This has changed. But you still got a rhythm. And then you can get working into, it gets just more complicated the further you get into learning music. But then it gets simpler for the stuff that was hard. So for this week, that's what I'm going to have you do. Just start simple. Just go there, tump, 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 and start simple. So you've got 4 beats, so do it this way. There's 4 beats. Follow what I'm getting at? Okay. So the first measure is C, E, G, E. Okay, that was 2 bars, see? And now we're going to move up to D diminished. Okay, I just threw a little just to show you how simple it can be. So in other words, you're keeping this the same. So just keep that all the same all the way through. And so for each bar that you go, okay, so for every bar, just do what I did right here. Just take your bars. I'm thinking real hard here, trying to see how to make this easy for you, because if I start off like I did back in 3 and 4, I started off hard and then simpled up. I'm trying to go simple here and get harder. So here we go. Anyway, however that sounds, it doesn't sound right. Anyway, so to be simple, we have 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we played 4 notes. So when we move up to say F minor, okay, We've still got the rhythm down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's our bar, which it means that's one bar. And this, of course, is a whole measure here. So we have one bar, and we decide we're going to do something different. So we go, okay, so we've got F, boop, boop, okay. And then we hit again here, down to here, and then we go down to here again. Okay? So in other words, these two notes here are going to be eighth notes, and these are going to be quarter notes. Eh? And so we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got an extra note in there. So we can either make these two eighth notes, which I think we should do. So we have a quarter, an eighth, a quarter, and an eighth. So there's 2 beats, 3 beats, and then 4 beats is going to be two more eighth notes. So that would be a way we do that one. See, and just keep going that way. You might want to take and just put like this. In other words, give yourself some more room. And I'm just going to go over here from here. Give yourself this much room. Okay, and go this way. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so this way you have more room to write in whatever you might play within that one measure. So if it's F minor that we're working with, this will give you more room to write these things down. So F minor. Okay, that's all 4 of them. So I'm going to really slow it down. Okay, so I'm going to hit first my first one. See, we've got 8th notes and we have a 16th note in there. 16th notes. That's a quarter, and then we'll go back. See how you just, in other words, as you speed it up, then you got to speed up your quarter notes. You've got to go from a quarter note to an 8th note to a 16th to maybe a 32nd. In other words, you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you've got 1 and, which would be 2 eighth notes. Then you would have 1 and for 2 eighth notes. And for a 16th, you're going to go 1 and. And you got, you follow what I'm getting with? But pretty soon you're going to have those kind of timings in your head. You're not going to have to try and go la la la. Because the whole thing is, at first, getting you started and getting your program, which we should have gotten done a long time ago, but I bet we haven't. So, in other words,